In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to use the ThinkorSwim trading platform. After trading for over 8 years, I've found the most optimal and ideal, I would consider, setup and workflow overall when it comes to executing my trades and finding success in the market. So we're gonna talk about how to get set up. Next, we'll cover my chart layout. Then we'll talk about the tools and indicators that you might find useful in your trading. And at the end of this video, I'll even give you access to one custom indicator that I've built, which will plug into your ThinkorSwim, and I'll teach you how to use that. We'll create a workflow and we'll actually enter and exit a trade together. To kick things off, I thought it would be fun on my phone here to go ahead and pull up a set of option contracts, as that's what I trade. So we're gonna buy up a random position. I'm just gonna throw 500 bucks on some Tesla calls that expire today. We're gonna buy up these 230, 250 Tesla calls. Let's go ahead, we'll buy one contract here, and then at the end of this video, let's send this through, there we go. We're gonna check back in and we're gonna see if I ended up making money or losing the entire $500. With that said, let's jump right into it. Now, first things first, you're gonna head over to the schwab.com website. This is where you're gonna go about opening an account. Once you actually have created a Schwab account, at that point, you can go ahead and download the ThinkorSwim platform. You can do that here, and whether you're on a Windows or a Mac, you will just click on Install ThinkorSwim. Now, when you open up TOS, which stands for ThinkorSwim, this is what you should see. I just created this account for the example, and there's a lot going on here. You can see the market closes in 1 hour, 43 minutes. My P&L open is $0. This account has $0 in it. My main account I actually trade on with Schwab in ThinkorSwim. I have over 500,000 in that account. So if you check out our other videos on the channel, you'll be able to see me trade live every day. But with that said, what we want to do now at this point is head to the link in the description below. You're gonna download my layout. So you're gonna actually have access to my TDT layout. You're gonna go down, click that link. What is gonna happen then is it will open up this page. It's gonna say the Daily Traders, and all you're gonna do is open this manually. Typically, manually opening this works better than clicking on install or view. So click on open manually. You're gonna copy this link right here. You're gonna head back over to ThinkorSwim. You're going to go up here to the top right and click on setup. Under setup, you're gonna go open a shared item. Under shared item URL, you are going to paste that URL. You're then going to click on preview, and then make sure to check this box, open shared item, after I press import, and there you go. You should be able to click on import. Once that has imported, you're gonna head back up to setup. You're going to go down and you're gonna click on the Daily Traders. You're gonna click on OK, and that is going to generate my actual setup that I have. Make sure once you've done that, everything's good. You should see exactly what I see on my screen right now. We're gonna start from here. We're gonna walk through everything that you need to know to fully utilize trading on ThinkorSwim, whether you're trading options or shares, it does not matter. Now, really, the main 3 top menu tabs we are going to be working with are going to be the Trade tab, the Monitor tab, and the Charts tab. Within the Trade tab, this is where we are going to have our charts pulled up. Now, next to day trading here, you can click on this. This is where you're going to add more panels to open more stocks. You can add up to like 40 or something. We don't need to look at that many stocks at once. We really only need to look at one. And now it says enter a symbol. Well, we're gonna look up the stock that we wanna look at the chart. So Microsoft, you can go through and look up any stock here, obviously. We'll use Microsoft for the example. Now, at this point, we're looking at a chart. Now, this chart, if you don't know anything, that's totally fine. What you want to look at, and I'm going to close this here just by clicking this arrow just to minimize things, and we'll focus on what is going on within this window. You have these little toggle icons here. First things first, we want to look at this time frame setup. We're on a 1 minute time frame. Now, based off of the trading you do, you could see I've got various time frames set up for you. A 1 minute is going to be as if you're a day trader. You're typically going to be trading on a 1 or 5 minute time frame. If you're day trading, a 4 hour is more of a swing trading time frame. I used to use the 4 hour a lot when I was swing trading. Now I'm mainly focused on day trading, so I'm using the 1 minute. Now the 1 minute, it says 1 minute, 1 day, and that's because you can look back 1 day. And what are these gray bars? Well, every day, obviously, when the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern, there is an aftermarket session. So this is aftermarket, right here. And this next gray bar is pre-market. If I go over to like a 4-hour time frame, this is the 4-hour 180 day. You can see back all the way. This is 180 days back. And then if we zoom in here, you could see each day, okay, the dark is 1 day, and obviously the gray is going to be aftermarket, pre-market. So timeframes are important. Make sure you've got your time frame set up based off of the type of trading you're going to be doing. Next, we've got this edit studies. It's this little icon here. If you click on that, this is where we're going to have access to the tools, but mainly the indicators that later on we're going to dive into, and we're going to actually, like I said, I'm going to give you access to mine, a custom tool that I've been able to build, but for now, we don't need to do anything there, but we will be revisiting the studies and strategies section. This is where we're going to add stuff on top of our chart. Okay, this is where you look at indicators, and there's obviously built-in indicators that do come with ThinkorSwim. Next, we've got the drawing tools. And again, I'm just showing you what I utilize in my trading, which again, after trading for over 8 years, I think these are the only necessary things for you to use. There is a lot going on here, but I'm trying to simplify everything and only give you exactly what you need to know. So under drawing tools, one of the common tools that I will use is going to be this trend line tool. Now, this trend line tool is going to let you actually just measure distances on the chart in a percentage basis. If you, let's say, open up any given day, we will look at today. Well, we can click and we can drag, and you can see here it's going to measure the percentage from one point to another. I use this tool quite frequently. If I head over to a 1 minute, we can see here the lowest point of today at 9:30 off the open to the highest point of today on Microsoft was about 2.23%. That's a great tool to use, and that's really all I'm going to use in here besides price level. Price level is going to allow you to draw out a line or a level, so you can mark out different areas on a chart, and you're just going to right click and remove drawing if you want to remove that. So you're just going to click twice. It's going to put down that price level. You're going to right click on it, and that is where you can actually remove it. As far as that goes, within our active trader, all we're really going to be doing, we're going to be coming into the chart, say we're going to be on our 4-hour time frame. We're going to have our drawing tools here. We're going to use the price level. We're going to use the trend line. And then within our edit studies, this is where we would look up a study or a strategy. But right now, next, what we want to do is we want to head over to the all products tab. And you can see here trade. Under trade, it opens up the all products, forex trader, futures trader, active trader, pairs trader. So I'm under all products, and here it is asking me to enter a symbol. So let's say we want to trade the stock Microsoft. Now, this is what is known as the options chain. If you trade options, this is how you're going to go about pulling up the options chain. That's how you're going to actually go about finding the option contract. You can then open any of the expiration dates. And then within the options chain, this is where you're going to go about figuring out exactly what contract you want to buy, looking at the strike price. You've got calls on the left, puts on the right. And then from here, you can go about buying one of those contracts. Now, the way that I'm going to go about buying a contract is, say, once I've selected my expiration date, we're going to go with the May 2nd contracts. We're going to go under the ask side. You should see bid, ask, theta, open interest, and volume. These are really the only things that I look at. As far as volume represents the amount of contracts that have exchanged hands between a buyer and a seller, or a seller and a buyer on that given day. So if you were to buy an option contract, you're going to account for one volume. Open interest represents the total amount of open option contracts. Now, if you bought a contract and you still have that contract and you haven't sold it, you're going to account for one open interest. Now, this is going to be important when trading options. We want to make sure that there are enough within the volume and enough within the open interest. That means there's enough contracts being either traded between one person to another or being held actively. We want to make sure we're buying something that we can sell and that someone will want to obviously buy from us. If the volume says NA, or if the open interest says 0, we want to avoid those contracts at all costs. Now, let's say we want to go about buying the 390s. You can see here the strike price. You can see here 390. We're going to head over to the left side, and let's say we want to buy the calls. So obviously here we would go under the ask side, and if you hover over any of these, you're going to click. You can buy right from here. That is just going to simply pull up that option contract you selected, and now you can see your order has been pulled up. We're able to go ahead. We are able to buy as many contracts as we want by adjusting this value. Make sure this is green, not red, okay? Make sure you're not clicking on the left side under the bid side. See, it says sell. We do not want to sell contracts because we haven't bought them yet. We don't own them, and there's a different way to actually exit the contract. So under the ask side, we're going to open up the 390s by clicking buy. Let's say we just want to buy one contract. We're going to go down to the mid. Now, what is this? Mid, nat, what's the difference here? Well, when we're buying an option contract, there's a couple different ways we can go about entering. We've got limit orders, we've got market orders, we've got stop limit, trail stop. There's really only two type of orders that you're going to need to use, both limit and market. Market order, all that is saying is essentially when you go to place a market order, you're putting your order out there. In this case, we'd be saying, hey, I want to buy one call. These are Microsoft calls expiring May 2nd, 2025. These are the 390 calls. If you send this order through, if you hit confirm and send, well, what is going to happen? That order is going to get filled immediately because you're just saying you're willing to pay the market price. Whatever anyone will sell those contracts to you, you are willing to pay. Typically, I like going in with a limit order instead. A limit order lets us specify what price we want to get filled at on those contracts. And this is going to apply if you're trading shares of a stock as well. Typically, well, if we buy something, we really want to buy it for as cheap as possible. So I would rather pay $13.55 instead of $13.75. And that's not $13.55. That's $1,355 because the way options are, well, essentially they're leveraged 100 to 1. Buying one option contract allows you to buy, technically temporarily own 100 shares of that stock. So the decimal point has just been moved over. So that's $1,330 for one contract. So all you then do is confirm and send. Now, keep in mind that sometimes your limit order will not get filled. It might never get filled. It just depends. So if you really want to get into a trade, you don't care about making or overpaying a little, right, for those contracts, then just go in market. If you really care and you want to get in for the best fill price possible and you don't care if you don't get filled, if you miss the trade, that's fine with you. Go in with a limit order. So we've covered how to actually go about buying an option contract. Now let's talk about how to actually buy a share of a stock. Now, if we head back over to our active trader, on the right hand side here, you should see these little buttons. What we want to do is open the trade button, TRD, click on trade. Now, I personally only trade options, so I'm really never using this feature, but if you want to buy a share of Microsoft, well, here's where you're going to do so. You can buy market, you can sell market, and you can adjust how many shares you'd like to buy. Now you can see the different order types. We've got limit order, we've got a market order. Again, there are other various order types. We're really only going to be using market or limit. Now, if we want to enter a trade with a market order, we're just going to hit buy market. We're going to send that through. If we want to enter a trade with a limit order, all you do is hit buy market, but don't confirm and send this. Just go to edit, and then under order type, you can switch this to limit, and then you can drag the price around, right? There are a couple other options. You can use buttons instead if you want to keep it really simple. Let's say you just want to buy one share at market. You'll just hit buy market and hit confirm and then send that order through. And then obviously don't sell market if you don't have any shares. Don't ever sell something you don't own virtually, right? That's the lesson here. Don't sell something you don't own. But we can buy that, and then once we have that open position, we can sell that later, and I will show you how to do that at the end. Now I'm going to open up this left toggle again. Under here, you can see your account info. This is where you'll see how much buying power you have, how much money you have in your account. Under there, we've got these two watch lists that will come built in when you download my layout. You know what? Why don't we take a second? Let's check in on the trade that I currently have open and just see how it's doing. So let's go ahead here. Oh no, so we're down $125, equivalent to negative 23%. This could go either way. We might end up totally losing everything, or maybe we'll open this at the end of this video and we would have made, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000. We'll see. But back into the video, well, we've got these two watch lists. They should both just say default. Watch lists are a place where you can save the stocks you're trading. Now, if you click on default, either under the top or the bottom one, well, typically this is my setup. I am going to go to personal, and I'm going to open up my, well, it's 2024. We could update that now to say 2025, but that's fine for now. And we're going to open up under this one, open position. Now, under symbol, this is where you're going to type in the stock that you're trading, whatever that stock is. For example, we've got BABA, we've got Ford, we've got PDD, we've got XRT, and we can add Apple. So these are all the stocks we're watching. I like having those in a place right there. And then under this other watch list, obviously it's called open positions, because any trade that I'm currently in is going to be under the open positions. And you can see the symbol here. You can enter the stock, say C for city, and you can see how city pulled up the actual chart of Citi pulled up. Let's go for NEO, N-I-O. Well, NEO pulled up. Why is NEO pulling up? Well, that's because next to the chart, symbol link is currently set to yellow. Now we can unlink the chart. So now it doesn't matter what I click on, the chart's not going to change until we type in a different ticker here. Or we can link the chart with another color. So if I want to link it with red, you can see my 2025 watch list is linked with red. So now anytime I click, it's going to open up that chart. Now I want to head over to my open positions. We'll switch that to yellow. Now you can see here, open positions. So that's something you can just play around with based off of what watch list you want to look at. Typically, I will just leave it set to unlinked. So it just makes it a little easier. And then within that watch list, what you're able to do is if you're trading an option contract, let's head back over to all products. Just the example, we're trading these 21st of March PDD contracts. Let's go down to the 130 strike under the buy side. Again, we're just going to click, drag down to the mid, and we could buy one contract there. But what we can do now is under the buy side, if let's say we just bought those contracts, you're going to right click. Now you're going to go down to the bottom here. See how it says send PDD to? So again, just hover over the specific contracts, right click, go down to the bottom here, hit send to, and let's send to yellow. And now if I go to active trader and I switch this to yellow, you should be able to see those exact contracts. And even better, you can click on the box here, right where you'd fill in, whatever stock you want to look at. You just click and you'd copy. So Command C. And then what you can do is you can head over to your watch list. You can click and just Command V. So paste that. Now, if you hit enter, well, now you've actually got your contract, that specific contract you have open saved. So under open positions, if you're trading shares of a stock, you're going to want to have the actual stock, whatever stock that is under watch list. If you're trading option contracts, you're going to want to have that actual option contract code. And that is going to allow you to then under here, if you had an open position, you'd see P&L percentage. It would tell you the percentage profit or loss you're up, the P&L open, how much you're up since you opened that position, the P&L day, how much you are up on that current day. So again, head over to all products, choose the option contract, right click, send to yellow, back to active trader. Again, this has to be set to yellow. You're going to just copy this. You're going to head over to your watch list and you're going to Command V, paste it. And that is that. It's pretty simple. So you'll be able to monitor all the stocks that you're keeping an eye on. You'll be able to monitor all your open positions, whether you have options or just shares of that stock. I just want to interrupt because we just had some crazy stats come in that in the month of February, our average mentorship group member was able to make 64% returns on their account. Now, if you're interested in having access to see and copy all of my trades in the stock market and trade live with me every single morning, I will put a link in the description below to my mentorship group. Now, another place to go about monitoring your positions is going to be under the monitor tab. Under here, you're going to have your account statement. This is where you can see exactly how much you have in your account. Cash and sweep vehicle, you're going to have your order history, you're going to have your trade history, your profit and losses here, and your account summary here. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on this privacy toggle. You can see I can toggle it forward and back. That is going to either hide or show. I'm going to leave it hidden so my editor doesn't have to blur my account number the whole time. That is where you're going to check in on your account and your account status, see how you're doing. Under activity and positions, this is where you'd actually monitor your current open trades. You'd see them all in here as well. Again, watch list is nice because you can actually be trading. You can be looking at the chart and also monitoring your trades, or you can head over to monitor as well. So for trading options, again, you're going to go under trade, you're going to go to all products and then active trader to check in on that chart. So all products is where you're going to buy the contracts. Active trader is where you're going to actually, watch that stock, right? If that's what your layout looks like, you'll have the chart pulled up here. And then under charts, this is where you're actually going to buy shares of that stock. Again, you can hit trade, you can hit buttons. So trade is going to allow you to then buy. And then once you've entered, you'd be able to sell market. You've got the flexible grid. This is just going to allow you to add more stocks to look at once. It's pretty easy to use this. If we click on this little icon here, show grid actions, and then uncheck customize grid or check customize grid, it'll allow us to add more by clicking on the plus or just remove, okay, by clicking on the minus. So we can add to the top, we can add to the left, okay, and we can build out our own dashboard. Say we want to look at SPY, we want to look at IWM, we want to look at QQQ. Now this is something important to note. let's go ahead, let's remove all of these and let's just leave one chart pulled up here. Obviously you have my layout set to default as you downloaded my exact layout. But if you're opening up a chart from scratch, this is what it's going to look like. This is probably not what you want to look at. I would prefer to clean this up a bit. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the settings, chart settings. You're going to click on chart settings. You're going to go to appearance. Personally, I like to fill up, so it's going to fill the candles green. Fill down, I like leaving checked as well. Now under cursor, we can leave that default. Under background, you can see here it says grid. I want to uncheck the grid, and the background color you can customize as well, but let's make sure we uncheck the grid. That's going to clean it up a lot. If we hit apply and hit OK, now you can see there's no grid, but it's still not looking great. Next, let's go back to chart settings. Now for each panel, based off what you're trading, you're gonna have to adjust this, and you can just do it on all of them. So we'll go to Forex first, show volume subgraph, futures, uncheck show volume subgraph, options, uncheck that. And we're just going to do that for all of them. We're going to uncheck equities, options, future, and Forex. Make sure none of them are checked under show volume subgraph. Apply, hit OK, and now the volume is gone. So now here you can see we can toggle back and forth. I'm going to remove this line we had there drawn, but what we want to do is allow ourselves more space to move to the right of the chart and to the left of the chart, because you can see the candles are like slamming against the edge here, and I like some area on the right. It gives me a better perspective of the chart. So we're going to open the chart settings. We're then going to go to time access, and under time access expansion area, bars to the right should say 0. We want to set that to 180. You can do 180, 160, 360, but the higher the number, it's going to give you more area on the right side there. So you can see if we zoom all the way out, well, now we've got this area to play with on the right side, do our charting, do our TA. So that is how you're going to just reset your chart, clean it up, clear it out, and make it look a little more pleasing to look at. And then from here, let's talk about studies strategies. This is where you're going to use indicators. ThinkorSwim comes with hundreds of built-in indicators. I'm calling them indicators, that's what they are, but it's called studies on here. Strategies, it's similar. Okay, there's just going to be different options in here. This is where you're going to pull up moving averages. So for example, if you've heard of a simple moving average, you're going to look up simple here, and you're going to see the simple moving average. You can add that. Under strategies, you're not going to be able to find a simple moving average. Okay, these are going to be more of the traditional type of indicators. Say I want to look at an exponential moving average, so we're going to go to moving average exponential. Now you've got your EMAs. You can apply and hit OK. You can see we've got the 2 EMAs on the chart. If you want to try one of their strategies out, let's just find a random one. Projection oscillator. We're going to add selected, apply, OK. And now we've got this projection oscillator, and you can actually click and drag to put these on top of the chart if you want. If you put them in volume or lower, they're going to show up below the chart. So if we want to put everything on top of the chart, we're going to do that and hit OK. And now we've got this weird overlay on top of our chart. So maybe you've seen someone's chart look something like this. It's a total mess. It's a total headache. I have no idea what is going on here. Well, let me show you all you actually need to look at. Let's remove all of those. Let's hit apply and hit OK. Now we're looking at the candlesticks here. I personally, after trading for such a long time, year after year, have slowly begun and continued removing things from my chart. And now at this point, I actually only use a couple very key indicators. So if we go to edit studies, this is where I'm going to apply my indicator. And this indicator I built. Okay, I built these for myself, and these are how I personally go about trading. So just to give you an idea, I trade options. The indicators are going to allow me to figure out how to go about managing a specific trade. And now I'm going to give you one of my favorite indicators that I've built absolutely for free, and we're going to break down how to use that. I'm going to put a link in the description below. You're going to click on that link. It's going to be the same exact situation as when you installed my ThinkorSwim setup. So let's run through that. So once you click on that link, it should open up this page, the Daily Traders ADR calculator. We're going to go under here, click on plus. We're going to open this manually by copying this, Command C. Heading back to ThinkorSwim, we're going to go up to settings. We're going to open a shared item. We're going to paste that. We're going to click on preview. And then again, make sure you hit open shared item after I press import. We're going to click on import. Now we're going to go back to where we just were, which was our trade section, active trader. You can also do this under charts and flexible grid or chart here. There's just a bunch of places that you're able to look at charts. but let's do it under trade and active trader. Here is where we can open up the studies, and then under studies, we're gonna type in the Daily Traders. Okay, you're going to click on that. You're going to hit add selected. It's going to be under the lower section. We're going to click on it. We're going to drag this up to price. Then we're going to click on apply and click on OK. And now what you can see is the ADR calculator. Now there's like a gap here on the side and it kind of minimized the chart. To fix that, let's go back to studies. Let's click on the settings toggle on top of the Daily Traders ADR. Click on settings, and then under inputs and options, we're going to uncheck the left axis. Click OK, click apply, and click OK. And there you go. Chart looks normal. Again, you could probably tell I keep everything very simple, very clean, very clear. Now, what this indicator does is it is going to help us gauge the expected move and the volatility behind that current stock that we are trading. This indicator only works on a 4-hour time frame. So you have to be on a 4-hour time frame. You can see here, if you click on the time under 4-hour, 180 day, each candlestick again represents 4 hours. And by the way, if you don't like this blue line right here that is shown on top of all the candles, you can go back here, you can go back to settings, you can go down to show plot, show bubble, show title, click on show plot and uncheck that. Hit OK, hit apply, hit OK. You don't actually need the blue line. What we can see is we're on a 4-hour time frame. We can obviously see back 180 days, and we can see here the average daily range over the last 180 days on Apple, which is what we're currently looking at, is 0.98. Now, what this is saying is that on an average day, Apple moves just about 1%. And now we can see the 3-day projected movement for Apple is just about 3%. Now, if you had a trade plan, let's just say for whatever reason, your take profit was set here. Again, to do this, we're going to go to drawings, drawing tools. We're going to open up the price level and you're just going to click. Well, let's say your take profit was set at 218.81. And by the way, the little minus and plus, if you haven't figured it out at this point, on top of the magnifying glass are how you zoom in and out, or you can click and drag. So we'll click and drag to zoom this in. And let's say your stop loss was set here at 208.42, just random. Now, our average daily range, okay, is 0.98. 3-day projected move is 2.95. If we go back to drawing tools and we go to the trend line, okay, we covered this earlier. Click on trend line. We want to chart out from exactly where Apple is currently trading, which is right here. You're going to click, and then we want to drag up and measure the distance from where we're currently trading to our take profit. We could see the distance is 2.8%, negative 2.8%, because I dragged up to down. You can drag the opposite way as well. It doesn't matter. It'll give you the same result. It'll just say plus or minus. We can see that is sitting about 2.80% away from where we're currently trading. Now, what we want to do is then reference our 3-day projected move, and we want to see if our take profit is within our 3-day projected move. If it is, which it is, obviously 2.8 is less than 2.95. That means that is a realistic place for Apple to move. A realistic target for Apple to hit within the next 3 days. And then we want to do the same for our stop loss. We'll click, we'll drag down to our stop, and we can see the stop is sitting 2% below where we're currently trading. So that's how you can use this tool and customize it, obviously based off of your average hold period or how long you want to be in that trade. We can extend that to say 6 or 7 or 8 days. We're going to apply and hit OK. You can see the 8-day projected move. You can see different stocks, for example, Nvidia. Well, Nvidia is going to have a 2.25 average daily range, almost twice Apple. Tesla is going to have a 2.61% average daily range. NIO is going to have a 2.78%. So each stock is going to move a little bit different. And for each stock, we want to make sure that we're setting realistic targets so we can obviously have these trades we're in play out and hopefully play out in our favor. Now, you can also use this as, like I said, a way to create a trade plan from zero. Let's say we want to enter NIO from where we are currently trading. NIO is sitting at $4.71. So what we can do is we can see obviously our average daily range is 2.78. Let's say we're day trading. Let's go to a 1 minute. Let's chart from our current price we're trading at, or you could do this off the open. You could do this when you enter, but we would chart out from, let's say, where we're currently trading, 2.78%, roughly, right? 2.78. And we will go to drawing tools and we will go ahead and mark that area out, mark that level out, and then we can delete that. that. We're going to do the same thing to the downside. Chart down 2.78, just about there. And then we'll go ahead and drop our line here. And let's say, okay, now our trade plan here is set based off of our 180-day average daily range. Again, it's not going to be accurate unless you're on a 4-hour time frame. 2.78, go back to a 1 minute. We got our levels set. Let's say this is going to be our take profit. This is going to be our stop loss. Great. We've got our trade plan. Are those realistic levels to hit? Yes, definitely realistic. That is within our average daily range. We can do that on a daily basis. We could also do that from more of a swing trading perspective, but we could see here now if we wanted to close this trade today, we could if we hit our take profit. Let's say our stop loss will make red. You can right click and change the color to yellow. You can right click on the take profit, edit properties, and change this to green. For some reason, it's not looking too green to me, but apparently that is green. And let's say for whatever reason, this won't change to green, but let's say this is our take profit. Now, those are two realistic levels. I mean, we could enter this trade and we could wait for that to play out. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this tool. It should just be used as a tool. Yes, it's an indicator, but I'm more like referring to it as a tool. So again, you can go ahead and download that, have fun with it, play around absolutely for free. Just want to help you guys out a little bit. So at this point, we've covered obviously how to get set up and make your chart look like mine. You should have downloaded my exact layout, what tools to use, what indicators to use. I gave you my indicator, obviously, and we talked a bit how to potentially implement that into your trading. Now that we've got everything set, let's create this workflow. Let's run through an actual trade example of how to use ThinkorSwim to buy and sell. And to do that, I'm going to use what is called the on-demand feature. Now, if you click on on-demand, this is going to let you actually historically go back and simulate out scenarios. This is like paper trading and backtesting all in one. And we're able to go back to a certain day at a certain time, enter a trade, see how that trade would have played out. I will talk about this feature more in later on videos as this is really helpful, but it just isn't necessary for the purpose of this video. Besides allowing me to actually enter and exit a trade without doing it with live capital. I know we have our current trade open and I'm excited to see how that ended up playing out. But let's go ahead now. We've just gone back to March 6th at 9:30. We're going to click on go. And again, this is just simulating out what it would look like. So it might be a little buggy, but essentially, let's first start by buying an option contract. We'd go to trade, we'd go to all products. Let's say we want to buy PDD. March 8th, 122 calls. We're going to go to the buy side. We're going to click on buy. We're then going to, let's say we want to go in with a limit order. We're going to buy one contract at 235. We're going to drag that down. We're going to hit confirm and hit send. Now that order is on the order book. It is a limit order. It might not get filled. Again, if you want to get filled instantly, you would go in with a market order. And by the way, we can clean up these watch lists here as well. There we go. Looks like we got filled. Now you can see this tab has popped up called position. If you open this, you could see the actual trade we're in. It should say P&L open, P&L day. And if you want, you could click on settings. You can type in PL or P/L, and you can add P/L percentage. Okay, so double click on that and it should add it here. Click OK. Now you should see the P&L percentage. What we can do at this point is we can right click. Again, we can send this to yellow, go to our active trader. We want to switch this to yellow. And here we can see the actual option contracts. We can copy this code by going Command C, and we can paste that code under the symbol and paste that. Now another way to do it, now that we're in the trade, you can see under all products, we can also go right click. We can simply hit copy and then we can paste that here. So you don't actually have to send it to active trader, but you can to actually look at the contracts if you want to. So under all products, again, now we can see we've entered this trade. We're in this trade, active trader. Let's go ahead. Let's unlink this. Let's type in PDD. Let's go over to a 1 minute time frame and you can see we are in this trade. We can then go to monitor, and under monitor here, you can see under equities and options, our current position, our net liquidity in the position. So how much capital we have in that trade, our P&L open, our P&L day, our P&L percentage. We can see our cash and sweep, overall P&L year to date. And under working orders, if you have any orders that are sitting there, for example, let's go back to trade all products. Let's place another limit order that we know will never get filled for like $2. And let's go with one contract and let's send that through. Now, if you have an order sitting there and it didn't get filled, the way you'd go about finding that and canceling it or replacing it is you go to monitor. Now under working orders, you can see that order. You can right click and hit cancel order, or you can click on replace order. It'll pull this back up. We'd go about adjusting our limit order, or let's say we just want to go in with market. We'd confirm, we'd send, and then we'd wait for that to get filled. And because we're backtesting, this is simulated and historical, sometimes it can take longer to get filled than it would in actual market conditions, in actual market scenarios. Then under monitor tab, you can see that's working. We're trying to get filled. Filled orders, you can see here. Canceled orders, you can see here. Rolling strategies, you can just toggle down or up these menus. Account statement, another place to check in on our balance on our account, our order history, our trade history. You can use this calendar to go back as many days as you want to check out all of your previous trades. So if we want, we can click on from today's current day. Again, we're looking at March 6th. So we want to go back to March 6th to March 6th. And then you can see our trade history here, our one order when we went in. Obviously buying those contracts just a couple minutes ago. Now let's go back to active trader. How do we actually close this trade? Well, there's a couple different places we can do that. We can do that here over either P&L percentage, P&L open, P&L day. All you do is right click, go up to create closing order, head over to sell. You can drop this menu down if that looks overwhelming. And then you're going to drag that to, well, we obviously want to get the best price when we're selling our contracts and make as much as possible. We want to get filled on the highest end there. Or if we want to go in with a market order, we can also go in with a market order. Let's then confirm and send. So now we are out of that trade. So another way we can go about closing our position would be to go to the monitor tab under activity and positions. You should see that PDD position I closed. Now I opened up another SPY position under P&L day. We should be able to right click here, create closing order and sell that position. Let's confirm and send. And now we are out. So that is how you buy and sell an option contract. Let's talk about how to buy and sell a share of a stock. Let's go to charts. Let's head over to, let's say, SPY. We're going to drop down this menu. Let's say we want to buy one share of SPY. We're going to hit buy market, send. Now we bought one share of SPY. We can head back to our monitor tab to actually see that share. If you click the drop down, we can see our quantity is 1. We've got that one share of SPY here, which we're down 14 cents on. You can right click, create closing order, and you can sell that for market or for a limit. We'll sell that for market. That's one way to do it. Citi, as an example, Citibank. We're going to buy one share, send that through. We're in that one share. So now that we are in this trade, we can click on monitor, our filled orders. We should be able to see our buy price, 56.46 for that one share we bought. You can see here our trade price, and we're currently down 10 cents. We can then go over to trade. Under active trader, we can type in C. That's where we can see our current P&L open. Again, we can add C to our watch list here to keep an eye on C here. Under our chart, again, this is where we can buy and sell. So really the easiest thing to do is just hit sell and send. So that's why having this on the side is helpful. So again, we would look up our stock. Let's go with Amazon. So we would buy, let's go for not 200, 5 shares of Amazon. We're going to buy market, send that through. You can see we bought 5 shares of Amazon. Under our watch list, we're just going to type in AMZN, enter, or return. And there you should see our P&L percentage, our P&L open, our P&L day. And we can then look at the chart on Amazon. We can have our ADR calculator set. Make sure we're on a 4-hour with the ADR calculator. Our average daily range is 0.95. On a 1-minute time frame, let's draw up 0.95, roughly there. Let's create our take profit. Let's just make that our take profit. We can make that green. We can customize the style of that line. We can customize the width of that line. Let's drag down 0.95 to get our stop loss, roughly there. We can then go about creating our stop loss line. You can right click and remove that. Again, right click, edit properties, red, change the style, change the width, hit OK. Boom, we've got our take profit, we've got our stop loss. We're in this trade, we're up $1. Now let's go ahead, let's scrub through to, let's go to 11.42. Oh, it looks like we would have got stopped out. Just about 10 o'clock, we would have got stopped out. You can see we're down $6. We're gonna hit sell market and send that through. Let's do that again. Let's go for another stock, but we'll do the same process, but just with trading an option contract. Let's go with BIDU. Let's go to trade all products, BIDU. We're gonna go with the March 15 contracts. Let's go with the hundreds. Let's buy 5 contracts for 262. There we go. We got filled. We're going to right click. You can click on copy and you can copy that under the watch list. Head back to our chart. You can see BIDU. Let's go to a 4-hour. BIDU's average daily range is 1.25. Now let's go ahead. Let's go to our drawings trend line. Let's drag up 1.25 from where we're currently trading. This would be our take profit roughly there. Let's drag down for our stop loss, which would be roughly there. Let's draw our take profit. And if you want this to save so it doesn't keep resetting the style, you can hit save as default. Hit OK. Edit properties. We will make our stop loss, but we'll change that to red. Hit OK. And now let's play this through. Let's go to 12 o'clock. Getting very close to our TP. Let's go to 12:57. And there we go. It looks like we just hit our take profit. We're up 17%, $235. Okay, at this point, don't hit sell market. Okay, we're not trading shares. We can head over to the trade section. We can then close the trade there. We can head over to the monitor. We can then close the trade there. And we can go to the trade section, go to the active trader, and we can look up. We can close the trade here. So let's just close it here. Boom. So that's it. That's how you enter and exit both option contracts and shares of a stock. That's a pretty ideal workflow. I was a little bit all over the place just because I never trade shares. I only trade options. So I normally always have my trade section set with my all products, obviously, to buy those option contracts. My active trader is always what I'm going to use and I'm going to stay on to look at the chart, to see my levels, and then to exit the trade. I rarely actually use the chart section. At this point, the market is about to close. It is time to check in and see if I ended up losing that entire $500 or maybe I made a bunch of money. We'll see, but it was a total gamble. Again, I came into this trying to simulate what a beginner would do, which is opening a broker like ThinkorSwim, depositing $500 and then gambling that on some random option contracts. Regardless of the outcome, if you're interested in learning how to trade, every morning at 9:30, I'm live, I'm trading in front of you. I will send you my trade entries and my exits so you can learn from me, you can follow my trades, copy myself, and at the end of the day, find that consistency and success that you've been looking for in the market. Again, the link is in the description below to my mentorship. But with that said, I hope you did take away some value from this video. I hope you learned something. Subscribe for more. Let's pull up my broker and let's see what happened with this trade. Okay, we're down 12%, down $70. So not too bad, but please don't let this be you, okay? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take the $60 loss. Click, scroll down, close position, 4.8, 4.7. So we can go limit, we can go market. I'm gonna send that through. That was a live trade, guys. Boom. I just lost $65. The other day I made 45K in one day. I recorded the whole thing, so, you know, it's okay.